share with you my eyewitness testimony. You know what I mean? He did do something about that. He sent a part of himself into this world to show us what an eternal God looks like with flesh on and dirty sandals. And he lived a life that we could never live and paid a debt that he didn't owe, so that we could, because we owed a debt that we couldn't pay. You know what I mean? And by rising from the grave, he bridged the gap between us and that eternal God that we could never bridge on our own. Not enough bake sale. We couldn't do enough good deeds to bridge the gap between me being jacked up Jeff and perfect holiness in God. It would never happen. You know what I mean? There is no other explanation needed. You know what I mean? Ain't no other philosophies logical to me anymore, because he came into my life one day when I was jacked up and violent and angry and lustful and all these things in my heart, the core of who I was. And in a moment when I said, man, what if this was true? If it is, come and change my life, Christ. And bam, in that moment, everything radically transformed, to the point where that was 8 years ago, like last week. And here we are. You know what I mean? If he had not resurrected me personally as a human being, I wouldn't be up here talking so loud. You know what I'm saying? But because I watched him walk into my life and radically change every part of who I was as a man, I will scream this from every rooftop for the rest of my life. Nothing else is interesting to anymore. You know what I mean? I don't need any other explanations. I don't need any other philosophies. It's all illogical. It's toddlers talking. You know what I mean? I don't need no CNN special to tell me about the real Jesus, or the History Channel exclusive that can rock your world if you only knew. Because the world chases its tail trying to explain things. You know what I mean? But once you experience Christ and his resurrection inside you, every other opinion is expelled. It's completely ridiculous. It just sounds foolish in your ears. And I have these conversations just to placate. But the reality is, I watched the resurrection. I watched it in my own life and in my own heart. And I watch it every day when I come to a crossroad or a decision or a temptation that I do not have the power to rise above. I don't. In many, many situations, and I'm there and I'm like, I do not have the strength to get over this. And somehow, some way, something rises up in me that pursues righteousness, that hungers and thirsts for it, and doesn't hunger and thirst for that thing I hungered and thirsted for so long. And that fire comes up in me, and I no longer want the lame things of this world, because they're tinker toys compared to a jewel that I found in a prison cell in Lorraine Correctional Institution. You know what I mean? Nothing else can compare, and never will.